Today we are starting a boot build on my 350Z. So guys, today is the first part in probably a 2 or 3 part series video of a boot build on my 350Z. What I plan to do is put an amplifier and a subwoofer in the boot while still retaining some of the practicality of the boot. Don't want to go over the top, but I think all of this will just complement the way the car looks really nicely. So guys, please excuse the really badly drawn 350Z boot lid. I'm a photographer and videographer, not an artist. But basically, you can see that weird like subframey bracey thing that goes across the boot there. That's sort of the back of the car, and that's sort of underneath the brace. And then naturally the like the subwoofer, so the speakers would sit there with the subwoofer down there. Basically what I plan to do is, like a lot of the design, here's a couple of pictures of the internet of what people have done in the past, is put a board that sort of mirrors that archway with a subwoofer there and an amplifier to the right, and then obviously the sub would be in a box that would be sort of behind the brace. And then in this piece that's around here, I would then put a hatch with sort of a little cord I can pull out, so I can pull this center section out and it retains some of the storage space underneath the wooden frame I'm going to make. A lot of people ask, like, where's the spare wheel? This car never came with one, and you try sourcing a space over a 350Z, they don't exist, and I just can't really be bothered with it, to be honest with you. So I'd rather use it as extra storage space. So that piece there will pull out and there'll be storage space underneath, and then you can slot it back in and you've still got a nice flat boot storage space. The bit behind the brace again will still be storage. This will all be carpeted and it'll all go back in, it'll slot in nice, and it will look really sweet. I think you'll have the sub and the amp, and they'll work really well in the back there, and you'll still retain this storage bit here and that storage bit there and a bit underneath. So first of all, I'm going to get the boot carpet out, measure it up, we're going to sort of chuck it on the bench, and then put it on my plywood. I'm using 9mm plywood for this build, guys. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's get on. So guys, this piece of wood here is 2 foot wide by 4 foot long, and because of my sort of square cutout idea, I'm going to measure from about a foot in and then make that 2 foot wide, and then I'm going to make it maybe, I think, about a foot you know, up and across, and make that sort of a box, and then that's going to be the part that I can remove to use the underside of the storage area as well as the top of the boot lid. So guys, here's that piece of wood in the boot as is. I forgot to say, I did have to make a small cut, as you can see on the right, and made this piece sort of 2 pieces. This is purely so you can get it in the boot, because there's no way of getting this in the boot without cutting the piece of wood. This will just be part of the design, but that's fine. It just means I can get it in and out more easily. Right then guys, I've got my big piece of cardboard here. I've got the piece of boot plastic that I'm going to use as a stencil. Effectively, I'm just going to draw the inner shape of that as close as I can to the shape. And actually I might probably do it, I'll probably do it that way actually, going to lay it flat. And then we'll cut it out, put the boot back together, and then we'll see how it looks and how it fits. And then we can make a carbon copy out of wood, and then you can trim the wood to fit perfectly. So guys, there is the sort of fascia panel of the amp and sub box that are going in. The best advice I can give you for this is literally just with the cardboard, just find a shape that fits sort of snug and then cut it out in the wood, and just keep sort of taking bits off here and there until you sort of get the rough shape. This is not the final piece. I just wanted to make sure it all sort of worked together like it does in my head. I'm pleased with how it looks. That's kind of where I want it to be, and I imagine this will all be carpeted. So any minor imperfections you probably won't see, like that sort of corner, but we can work that out. And apart from that, I really liking how this is coming along. And then you'll still be able to use the storage bit back there, because I'm only going to go for a sort of a shallow sub and an amp. This isn't going to be like a massive power boot build, but yeah. And as you can see, my sort of retractable middle piece will work together, and it's all coming along really nicely. So the next step is to basically make all of this in proper nice 9mm plywood, which is what I'm using. Cut out that sort of hole, make it all sort of strengthen up, and then, well, really start researching what sort of sub and amp size I can sort of put in this this container. So yeah, let's get on with the next bit. Okay guys, so we're back with the boot area part of the boot build, and this square that the rectangle that I've drawn, this is going to be like a hatch that I can pull out so I can make use of the space underneath. The car doesn't have a spare wheel, but it just means there's wasted space underneath for extra storage. So the idea would be that I'd have a rectangle that would pull out, and then underneath there'd be sort of batten running to make like a box section. There'd be like a tab I can pull on, and it means it would just sort of place in like a tile, and you'd be able to pull it out and use the understore bit and then place it back in, and it would still look neat and tidy. So I've kind of measured it out. The first thing I'm going to do is just make sure with my level and sort of ruler there that it's all straight and everything lines up, and then we'll go I'm going to drill a few holes, and then we'll cut it out with the jigsaw, and then yeah, and then we'll get on to the next stages of putting the batten in. So guys, that's that centre piece cut out. And the next thing I've got to do is I'm just going to do a tester for the moment, but a tiny bit of batten that just has a tiny little lip on the underside of this, so that you can put this back in like so. and it will make still a nice sturdy boot floor. So yeah, I'm going to sort of cut up some batten and work out the best way of doing that. I don't know if I go all the way around or just do sort of a couple of strips here and there, but we'll work that out now. So I've got a couple of offcuts of batten here. These aren't going to be the final pieces that go on, but I'm just sort of testing the theory again that it does fit on. So I'm going to use some screws and I'm just going to sort of put these in, and then we'll put the boot lid on, put it back in the car and see how it looks. Right, so guys, in theory those two pieces there will make a little seat, like so, and that is really quite sturdy. That, I think that's going to work very well. So let's go put it back in the car, see where we're at. So that's it back in the car, guys, and yeah, basically it just allows me to put that in like so, and then it's basically a boot lid, boot space again. And the beauty is, obviously, you can take this piece out and you've still got access to the underside. So a very quite innovative feature there. I know people will say, like, where's the spare wheel? This car never had one, and like sourcing one, they just don't seem to exist, and I can't be bothered really. So we're just going to go with this. I love it. I love how it's coming along. It all works really well. The next stage is to get better plywood sheets for the back section and that subwoofer section. Apart from that, it's coming together really. So guys, I think we can all agree that the boot build has come along really well. My plans and my designs kind of line up with what I've built here. It's not taking me too long to make this sort of this concept build. This is not the final woodworking piece. The only bit the final one is this bottom bit here, but this piece here in the back bit in here, I'm going to make out of proper 9mm nice plywood. But yeah, for the moment this is actually really come on really well. And then imagine this is all going to be carpeted, and then like the sub and the amp are going to be there and all be wired in properly, and you'll still be able to use the two storage spaces and the bit underneath. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm really happy with how it's actually looking. The carpet I had in here already didn't have any support below it, so it was literally just like you put weight on it, it just fell into the cabin anyway, where the spare wheel should go. So this is a really good sort of nice little build, and also just, you know, makes the car boot functional and that. I'm going to sign this particular video off, guys. I'm going to make another one obviously when I come to do the rest of this build. I might make it 3 parts. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be spending on this yet, but for this video, seeing what I'm doing with the 350Z boot build. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. I want to hear your thoughts, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Cheers.